Hi, that's right. President Trump just wrapping up a session in the Oval Office with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. The president sort of jawboning bin Salman during the course of that Oval Office session to increase his commitment to investments in the United States from an announced $600 billion to a full $1 trillion. Interesting interplay between the two leaders there as they talked about how much the Saudis would ultimately end up investing. But Mohammed bin Salman expressing optimism about the opportunities economically inside the United States for Saudi investment funds. The president also was asked about the Federal Reserve, whether he's begun interviewing any candidates for that job, and he was harshly critical in the moment of Fed Chair Jay Powell. Take a listen to what he said.
We are talking to various people, and frankly, I'd love to get the guy currently in there out right now. But people are holding me back. He's done a terrible job, hurting housing a little bit. The truth is, we've been so successful, we've blown past his interest rate stupidity. He's been wrong. That's why I call him too late. He's too late. Jerome Too Late Powell.
So the president there suggesting that he would like to remove Jay Powell, but people unnamed are holding him back from removing the Fed chair. The president also engaged in a bit of a tricky exchange would be the way to describe it, with a reporter in the Oval Office who asked him about Jeffrey Epstein and why he doesn't simply release Jeffrey Epstein material now of his own volition. Why wait for the House vote? The president took that opportunity to both criticize the reporter for asking the question and also to criticize Reid Hoffman, the venture capitalist, Larry Summers, the former Treasury Secretary, as having been far more close with Jeffrey Epstein, the convicted sex trafficker, than himself. The president really unhappy with the question, a difficult exchange there between the president and the reporter, but ultimately saying that the Democrats are more close with Jeffrey Epstein than he ever was, and saying that his relationship with Epstein ended badly years ago. He simply didn't like the man. Guys, back over to you.
Yeah, Eamon, I mean, this is fascinating to me, especially given the fact this is supposed to be sort of a big deal briefing, I guess, if you will, focus on technology and oil and defense products, including possibly F-35 sales being announced, officially announced, the transfer of American nuclear technology. Any updates on any of those possibilities? Well,
the president said he's open to the idea of a civil nuclear agreement between the United States and Saudi Arabia, said that's being discussed. And we saw Mohammed bin Salman talk about technology, AI, materials, all sorts of other areas where they could come to an agreement. But none of that's been signed yet. The anticipation here is that we'll see a series of deal signings this afternoon, and those details will become public. But the president seemed amenable to both that civil nuclear deal and selling F-35s. He was asked if the F-35s from Lockheed Martin that the United States will be selling will be technologically the equal of F-35s that the U.S. is sending to Israel. He didn't quite answer that question, but he said, yes, we want them both to have top-line equipment from the United States, and so we want them to have parity. So clearly, this is a president who is leaning forward in his relationship with Saudi Arabia, both in terms of the security agreement between the two countries, the regional peace talks that the president's been engaged in, and that investment piece here in the United States.